7 ways that you can help yourself to build self-control or to master your self-discipline. Let's take a look at that on this video. I'm Lucy, Holistic Peak Performance Coach. Mastering how to have more self-control is a great thing to be able to do. And let's take a look at the very first thing that you might want to look at doing. So one of the things is looking at where you want to have that self-control. Could it be movement? Is it with impulses? Is it with your emotions? So we're not going to go so much into movement here, more about impulses and emotions. So you have a stimulus and you respond, right? And you want to have more control between the stimulus and your response to that stimulus. So the very first thing is you can just breathe. So take a deep breath in. Somebody has said something and it's triggered you. Breathe in and breathe out very, very slowly, very slowly. Count to 10. Do it again if you can. Breathe in, count to 10. Breathe in, count to 10. So now what you've done is you have widened the gap between the stimulus and the response that you would normally come back at with. Now, this is going to take a little bit of work to do, but it's a very easy way in the moment to catch yourself and just, let me just breathe. And it helps you to lower the response, that fight flight response. You want to fight, you want to go for that person, but it brings that down a notch or two. And the wider you can make that gap, the better. The second thing that you can do is, what are you saying to yourself? Think about your self-talk. So your self-talk might be, that person always triggers me, right? Or that situation always gets to me. So that's your self-talk. So start to change your self-talk. I am so much better at responding to that person when they say this kind of thing. I have got so much better in that situation and I don't respond straight away. So your self-talk kind of preempts that situation, preempts that person triggering you. So that's the second thing. The third thing you can do is to look at your nutrition, to look at what you're eating on a daily basis. Because if you are eating, one thing I say is you're eating junk, you feel like junk. So if you're eating a lot of junk food, you're not going to be feeling as good. Your body is not being fed properly. It's starving in some areas. And you are feeling on edge because maybe you've had too many energy drinks. Maybe you've had too much sugar and salt. And so you are not feeling your optimum. So if you start to change the way you're eating, looking at the right types of things, getting a good balance, adding in some nutrition, you're going to feel a lot better. So your self-control and your self-discipline will help. But if you're saying, yeah, but Lucy, that's the thing I don't have control over, that's the thing I need to strengthen my self-control in that area, then let's look at that. So maybe it's a cake, maybe it's a donut, right? This is something I used to have a lot of. And it would help me with my blood sugar levels. And it was just like, oh, I'm just going to eat that. But I wasn't thinking, oh, from first principles. So this is another one you can use from first principles thinking. If I eat this thing, what is the knock-on effect? What's going to happen next and what's going to happen after that? So the thing that might happen next is immediately while I'm eating, it's like, oh, this tastes so good. It feels nice in my mouth. And I love these. A few minutes later, literally a minute afterwards, you might be going, oh, I feel so guilty. I feel so guilty I had that. I knew that that wasn't in my plan. It wasn't taking me towards my goals. And then what happens? You feel sleepy. Okay, so if I eat this, I'm not going to feel good and I'm going to feel sleepy. And if I'm feeling sleepy, I'm not going to get as much work done as I want to do. So then I'm going to feel bad about myself. And if I'm working for somebody else and I'm doing this on a constant basis, guess what? They're not going to feel good about what I'm doing either, because I'm slacking and I know I can do better. And perhaps I won't get that raise because I'm not doing as much as I can. So there's a knock-on effect. So when you go back to first principles thinking about around that food, then that can also really help with the self-control. So it's having that awareness of what you're doing and then just taking one thing at a time and going, okay, it's the food thing that I want to get self-control around. Then I'm going to use that first principles thinking that I've just heard about. So that's the next thing. Another thing you can look at is exercise. And you can do this in two ways. So if a situation is winding you up, go and do some exercise. That can really help. You might just go for a walk. It might be go for a bike ride. It might be go and do 10 sit-ups and push-ups and whatever. So that's one way you can do the exercise. But what I would suggest even more than that is to do the exercise regularly. So you regularly doing 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, once, twice, 3, 4 times a week. Because with that, you're building in self-control, you're building in and you're improving that self-discipline within the week. And when you can get that in, then you can be disciplined in other areas because you know you've already got that discipline. So it helps you. And with that, with your self-discipline, with that, if it's exercise that you need the discipline on, choose a time, choose a space, and get started. Stick it in your diary if you need to. Put it on your phone as a reminder. Already have your workout gear, already have your yoga mat down, and you know exactly where you're going to do that. And even if it's just for, you think, I'm just going to do 2 minutes. So all I'm going to do is 2 minutes. And you start to do your push-ups, your planks, your sit-ups, and you've done 2 minutes. Now you've got started. You probably want to continue on and you think, oh, I could actually do 10 minutes. And so there you start to build up that self-control and that discipline in that area. Another way to help you is to just walk away, simply walk away. If it's a challenging person, walk out the room, go somewhere else, just say, I'll be back in a minute. Off you go. Go to the bathroom if that's the only space you can get to and away from that person and away from that situation. Go outside, sit down, go in another room, just walk away. That gives you the time to then do something else, like just that breath work, right? And you can just sit there and breathe. Okay, well, what's something else I can add in? Because you can add in more of these to help you, the better. So you've got the walking away, might be going for a walk. So there's the exercise as well. And you're doing the deep breathing while you're going for that walk. So you can add in lots of things. So we've got breath work, self-talk, nutrition, exercise, going from self-principles thinking, moving away from the challenging situation. So that's 6 things you've got there now in your toolkit. The 7th one is to identify the emotion that you're feeling. If this situation is making me feel anxious, if it's making me feel upset or emotional, sad, what is that emotion? What is that? Am I really feeling that emotion? And perhaps name it something else, because emotions aren't bad things. Emotions are just messages to us and to tell us something. They're like a little partner going, oh, you feel like this. Perhaps you need to do something about this sad feeling that you've got. Where's the sad feeling coming from? Where is the frustration coming from? And really just sit with that and get curious about it. And sit with that feeling and send that feeling some love, some understanding, and it'll help it to dissipate. And so again, you can get some more control back by understanding the feeling and by going, it's okay that I feel angry about this. It's okay. but you're giving yourself the time to understand yourself. And here's a bonus one. So your number 8 for self-control and self-discipline is sleep. Because if you're not getting enough sleep, you are doing yourself a real disservice. And actually, that can be very dangerous if you get into a pattern of having less than 5 hours sleep a night and you get what we call chronic lack of sleep. That can be quite dangerous. I'm not going to go into that on this video. There's one on sleep hygiene if you want to check that out. But when you get between 7 and 8 hours sleep, you feel a lot better. You know, think of the last time you had a really great night's sleep. You felt so much better during the day. You were kinder. You were more able to control those emotions. You were having more self-discipline. And that really improves your self-control. So make sure you're getting enough sleep. Have some really great sleep hygiene protocols. And all of those things you can do together. You can do them separately. You can build one up on top of the other. And it's going to make a real difference to how you show up and to how you feel like I'm taking control back of that situation. I'm taking control back because they're not going to make me feel like that anymore. I'm not going to allow them to make me feel like that anymore. There'll be another video coming up on screen, so I'll see you over there. If you feel like you need some guidance, help, support, then you've got my details down in the description box below. You can book an inquiry call, we can have a chat, and let's see how we might be able to work together. Take care, and bye for now.